welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is our First Division Final Word show, where we'll be talking about all things First Division, obviously all the recent results, Friday's matches and whatnot. And we'll start with Mr. Shelburne over here. Shelburne 3-0 against Galway. Big result for Shells. Obviously yourself a Shelburne fan. It's looking good for Shelburne at the minute this season. They're still very much in that title race. There's so many teams in the title race, but Shells are very much alive in it. What are your thoughts? First of all, this is a big win for Shells, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to show the signs that people were expecting them to do earlier on in the season. And obviously, as we say, these things take time for players to gel and so on. And, you know, people were been quite vocal saying Ian Morris isn't the man and this, that, the other. They hadn't really given him that much of a chance. People forget how competitive it is in the First Division. I think between the top team and the fourth team, there's only 3 points the difference really. So, and everybody's been beating everybody, and everybody's been getting points off everybody. But obviously, Shells take the lead through Ryan Brennan, who's has that Premier Division quality, and you can see that with the strike that he scores for the first goal. Then I just think the Galway. The two sending offs were just so stupid and so avoidable. It was ridiculous. Like, there was a point where the guy got sent off second.
The captain Stephen Walsh. Was Stephen Walsh? Yeah, Stephen Walsh. Yeah.
So Stephen Walsh, he throws the ball on the ground in disgust to a decision from the ref. Gets booked for it, and then there's a chance up in Shelburne's box. And then the Galway player, Costello, Dark Costello, turns around and he must have said something to the ref. He must have said something to get sent off, because it was a straight red.
From what I saw in the conversation he had with the referee, I think the referee was saying that he elbowed him or something like that for a header or something like that. Like, because when they were discussing that he was reenacting his header.
Yeah, I seen him jumping for a header, yeah.
So but maybe it was something to do with that. Maybe we thought he did something.
But
it's so hard, you know what I mean, to see it.
But it was so late after the decision was made, so I thought that maybe it was for saying, curse word or something, which I think it might have been.
A bit of a Diego Costa incident, maybe.
But then
something to the referee.
No, maybe he's thought about it and he's given himself time to think about it. Maybe the referee, and he's gone with the decision. Then
Yeah, but then Darren Costello, then he goes in, and then Stephen Walsh comes in, was flying through the back of the Shelburne player, and
this is when it was 1-0 though, wasn't it? I think.
It was only 3 minutes after Costello got sent off. It was just absolute stupidity.
It might have been anger from himself.
Yeah, but it's stupidity.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to be the captain. Your team are at the bottom of the league, playing against a team that are competing for promotion. Keep your head. Stop being like it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. And whatever about the heat of the moment or whatever, it was from there. If I was a Galway fan, I'd be very disappointed by him.
We'd seen what happened to Rovers midweek. I mean, you would have thought that they learned that.
Yeah, well, if they're even watching. But you're looking at it. Kieran Kilduff then gets his goal in acres of space. Great ball. I don't believe he would have got that much space, obviously, if they had 11 men, but it is what it is, and the player of that quality is not going to miss from there. And then Oscar Brendan getting the last goal, he'll be delighted with getting on the score sheet as well. So
you could see kind of
the send us off obviously killed the game from a Galway point of view.
I think some people were criticising the goalie for the Oscar Brendan goal, but you could see in the replay, like behind the goal, where when he shot it, the defender was standing directly in front of him, so he didn't see it till the very last second, and then it went away in the bottom corner.
What would you have said to the defender, Ryan?
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
There's a shot.
That's the goalkeeping phenomenon.
Yeah. I would have said it a bit louder than that.
Oliver Kahn.
Yeah, that's me. Schmeichel.
But
moving swiftly on. Moving swiftly on.
You need to be talking about Shell still.
Oh, sure, yeah. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Sorry.
Moving on, you're about to go on to something else.
Yeah, no, but I just Ryan didn't really touch on Ryan Brennan's goal. Like, it was a lovely goal, like, in terms of composure. Touch on him, like, technically he's always been very, very good, like, and he just kind of players like that, like him and his brother who played with Drogheda as well, like, in that league, like
Sean or Killian?
Sean, who were playing Drogheda last year, as well. It's same kind of thing, like then that in that division, like just players like that who have played at a high level in the Premier Division. You know, you play for Rovers, things like that. They can just change the game like that. Like, you know,
he was still very good at Pats last season as well.
Yeah.
You know. So look, I mean, obviously delighted. It's 3 points on the board, and it's just 2 or 3 points now between Shells and Longford at the top. So we might as well move on to Longford. And another red card ruins the game, it seems.
There you go. Yeah. Sean McSweeney sent off. Yeah, it's 2 foot cell worthy. I mean, like, we've seen a lot of them this season in both divisions. I don't really know.
I don't know
why that seems to be a thing.
Stupidity or frustration. I didn't actually see the tackle, but I heard it was pretty horrendous.
Yeah. Well, Longford get their goal through Dean Byrne anyway. So I mean, again, another great result for Longford, who are very much
they've been
in
having
that
a great
race as
season.
well.
They've had a brilliant season, like especially at home. Like
they've only seemed to have lost one game. I think in Wexford, wasn't it?
They've been really very, very good.
Which was a surprise as well, because Wexford haven't been all that brilliant as well in the first division. But again, Longford will be pleased. It's another result that keeps them very much in that race. I think it's still very much early days if we're talking about who might be the one we expect to go out and win the first division.
I think that'll keep going till the same as last season.
It probably got down to the wire, to be honest, because it looks that way.
It's always like that. Yeah, I think in that division, apart from Finn Harps last year, they kind of broke right at the end. But when it comes to second and fourth, it's always
fairly inseparable.
It's always like that, you know. But Shells and Drogheda always are thereabouts, like.
Which is why it's always so disappointing to see the massive kind of gulf in quality between when these players, when these teams step up from the first division into the Premier Division, and then they seem to struggle away, as we're seeing this season. Obviously, UCD and Finn Harps. So hopefully that won't be the case for the two teams that do eventually go up next season. And again, I just think it's too early to say who it's going to be, because there's so many teams that are playing well. And Longford being one. So another great result for them. Seems to be grinding out against Limerick, who are a tough side as well to play, let's not forget. So it's a good result all around.
Limerick go down to 6th, then you would have thought they came down and they got beaten by Finn Harps in regard to the playoff last season, but you would have thought maybe they would put up more of a fight. But there seems to be some sort of issues with financial difficulty, and as well as that
the bolting of
but they actually thought that an investor was coming in, apparently pulled out as well. So I mean, it's a bit doom and gloom on their side of things at the moment, and hopefully that changes, and hopefully someone comes in and does look after them,
I mean, there's still plenty of time for Limerick to turn things around, and 6th isn't exactly the worst place to be. Even if they don't come up this year, I think there's still a good base down there at the City Collins Stadium for them to change things, and maybe they will be a Premier League side again, a Premiership side again within the next 2 or 3 years or so. But I don't really think they'll be coming up this season, to be honest. I think they'd probably be the ones I'd rule out, along with a few others, obviously Wexford and Galway. But yeah, and Athlone. But still, it's good to see the division so open. Obviously, Shells.
I was going to say, moving on to your boys,
Bray and Cabot,
the derby there against Cabinteely.
Disappointing results, because I think Bray, by the sounds of things, were the better side. Obviously, I was up at Dalymount, so I didn't get to see the game. But Jake Ellis grabs a goal, and it's good to see him on the score sheet as well. I actually expected Rob Manley to score as well, because he's in a terrific form this season. It was what's his name? Is something foreign. Labutis scores for Cabo to make it 1-1. But again, the results, I was disappointed with. Obviously, Cabinteely top of the league. It's still that 100% away record. It still exists and not been beaten away. But it's just been fantastic this season. I don't know where that's come from. It's sort of like Bowes, where Cabo are concerned. It's sort of like this snap, and all of a sudden they're this top side. Just out of the blue. I think Rob Manley is a great recruit. Obviously, they've got Marty Waters there as well to bang in the goals too
at the back.
Yeah, exactly. So Cabinteely have been really, really good this season, and they got a good result away to Bray as well, because Bray can be tough to play at times. It just depends on what team comes out. And Jake Ellis bags the goal. That's his first of the season. Hopefully not the last as well. He's a good player and a good lad as well.
Very young.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and good to see him getting a bit.
Was he the youngest ever goal scorer in the Premier Division last year, wasn't he?
Yes.
Pretty sure he was.
Yeah,
scored against Cork, I think.
Yeah, which is great, obviously, to see him playing so well. It's good to see him stepping up to the plate as well, because Bray really need that striker, and it would be nice if Jake Ellis was the man to lead the line for for our boys, the Seagulls,
Yeah.
for the rest of the season. It'd be nice to see, because he is a good lad, and someone that is kind of strong enough in the box. You know, he's good on the ball. He's good at holding up the play as well. So, yeah, I'm happy for him. Unfortunately, obviously, Bray didn't go on to win the game. Cabinteely still in this, so fair play to them. But it's a good result, especially for Cabinteely as well, because it keeps that record up.
Yeah, well, it seems to be now all teams seem to be doing well, kind of the top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, then Drogheda kind of come into it there. They got a great result, 4-1 against Cove. Your boys, you might as well chat about them.
Yeah, well, they had a couple of bad results, obviously, to Longford, and then they had the Shells game at home where they drew 0-0, which was, from what I understand, it wasn't necessarily a bad game football, although it was 0-0. They kind of didn't have the best start, but now they've kind of clawed their way back in, and now they have a really important game against Longford coming up. So that result away to Cove was really, really important. Especially going down to Cork there and getting such a good result. It puts them right in line now to claw back to first place if they beat Longford at the weekend. A lot of talk, especially with stuff that's been coming on with the FEI. A lot of Drogheda United fans, more so the ultras, and that have been voicing their opinions about, it's basically censoring what they can say and not say in chants and things like that. So that's what, from what I understand, the games that I've gone to, it's kind of killed the atmosphere a lot, because usually ultras were always there, and that was, no matter what division we were in, there was always an atmosphere. Whereas now, you were at a game before, even last year, and it was as if there was no one there. I'm sure there would be a decent crowd against Longford. There usually is in games like that, especially Friday nights. There's usually a decent enough crowd. But I hope to get to the game on Friday and actually interview maybe some of those fans, and speak to them not only about the game itself, but about the club and where it's going. Because it's only about 10 years ago they were very close to getting Champions League, won the league, and it's completely changed the whole club. So
yeah, but obviously, Drogheda take the lead in the 4th minute. Then there's a goal straight away. Then the equaliser. We're Drogheda at home or Cove at home?
Oh, sorry, my fault. Drogheda were at home to Cove, as far as I understand.
Yeah, we're used to the away there. So
I'll just check.
There's no internet here. Minute.
Yeah,
and then Cove equalised in the 5th minute. So both teams were all out attack from the word go. Then obviously Doyle gets the second goal in the 17th minute, and it seems to be all Drogheda then after that. Then obviously the 2 goals then with Meany and McNally kind of finished them off. Are you happy now with the direction Drogheda are going? Tim Clancy, I think he's doing a good job there.
Oh yeah, I think he's a really good coach, and manager, but I think he seems very grounded. His head screws on very, very well, and I think it looks like he has a very good relationship with the players as well. They all seem to very much respect him, and he's been able to keep a high standard within the team the last couple of years, and they've always been their best for getting promoted, So I think it's more so he's created a structure where he's just looking to keep a decent team, develop the youth structure, and not having to throw money and try to get players in, the money that we don't have, because that's what put us in this position in the first place, by paying players with money that we didn't have, and now we're here. I think I like him a lot. I think he's a very good coach and manager as well. But yeah, I'm sure this year we'll be thereabouts again. I'm looking forward to the game against Longford. I have to say, like I am really looking forward to seeing.
Two huge games. You know, Shells Cabo and Strade.
Yeah.
And Longford. So yeah, and again he's only got within 3 points now of top. So if you let you go level, wouldn't it? So be interested to see now. I mean, hopefully one of us go up anyway automatically. That would be the ideal situation, wouldn't it? But just lastly to finish off, then Wexford beat Athlone 2-0. Goes from Furlong and Danny Doyle. Wexford up and down. You know, I mean,
Athlone as well. They've been good at home, Athlone, but then on the road not so much. So
well, to be fair, like Wexford's, you know, if they hadn't won that game, they'd have been clawing back up there for Athlone because the fact that they actually they beat them. They just went within 2 points, so it was huge in that aspect. And it's funny because Wexford went and beat at Longford there not too long ago. So it's so weird, like the results. You know,
I was there when Wexford came up for the Bray game, the EA Sports Cup. Was it the first round or second round or whatever?
Oh yeah.
They brought a good bunch of fans came up, and obviously I got an interview after the game with one of them. They looked well against Bray at 3-2 the final score. It was a bit of a topsy turvy one because Bray were so in control, sort of just sat back, and Wexford kind of pounced on their sort of their relaxed state nearly. But they're not awful. They're a great kit as well. I really like that Wexford kit. But
the pink one,
yeah, it's very nice. Well, what can I say? You probably buy pink boots. No. Well, anyways, they're a good side. They've got a nice kit, and also they do show spirit. Like the fans are very good as well, singing the whole YOUTHS Wexford UCU. Anyway, but like they're
sing that again, will you?
No, I'm alright.
It's good that you remember that.
They know it. Yeah, it was stuck in my head because it was like the United song. But no, they're good. They're a good bunch of lads, and I can only wish them well. They're not gonna come up, obviously, and they're not ready to come up, Wexford Youths. But they are a good side, and I don't think they're gonna finish bottom anyway. Certainly not.
Okay, and in terms of Athlone,
just a bit up and down, a bit kind of like topsy turvy at times. Like it's yo-yo Matty. Difficult to guess what they're gonna do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's difficult to play away to that. As far as I've seen, a lot of teams have had a lot of trouble playing away to them.
Yeah. That's
started off really well.
Yeah.
And then it's just, you know, lately haven't been doing.
They looked promising, but yeah, again, it's supposed to be a good bunch of fans in Athlone as well. So
it's hard to kind of, like, to be fair as well, though. It is hard for us to try and keep up to date with these things when, you know, we're trying to cover games for the Premier Division. And there's no highlights of anything.
They're
for
not
the
covered
first
on Soccer Republic
for
and all that kind of thing. So it would be nice to be able to sort of like see the goals and kind of get a sense of what the game is like. But even that's not really enough. Obviously, the coverage of the League of Ireland is something that we can talk about and has been talked about time and time again. It's not enough. It's just not enough. But hopefully that'll change within the next few years. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I can only talk about Wexford because of what I've seen of them once this season. I haven't seen it.
That's probably a makeshift team as well. Because
of the fact that it was a cup game, obviously. But maybe I'll see more Bray games towards the end of the season. I might see Athlone play Bray in the Carlisle grounds. But it doesn't look too promising for either of those two sides in terms of whether or not they're going to go up. They just look like they're there to compete at this stage. They're there to be there even. But
Whipping boys.
Yeah, perhaps. Unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. But at least with the First Division, it's nice to be able to see that there's so many teams that are battling it out to get up to the Premier Division. It seems to be the objective for so many teams in that division, and it's nice to see how open it is still. And obviously, Wexford can go and beat Longford. You know, it's just that kind of league, and that's what we love about it, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I think we probably just wrap it up there. That's been all the games. That's been our First Division final word show. And I'll let you take it away here, Roy.
Yeah, that's all we've got. Finishing up now with First Division. Obviously, we've got our previous Premier Division video up as well, so check that out too. Close to 5,500. So if you would like to subscribe, if you haven't already, please do. And please do leave a like on the video and also comment what games you would like to see us at for the rest of the season. Thanks very much for watching.